and has demonstrated a long-term, consistent, and significant contribution to the betterment of the judiciary and the public it serves. At this time, I'd like to invite Dean McVeigh to say a few words about our lifetime Judicial Achievement Award recipient, Judge Barry Plotkin.
There's someone else coming up first.
Dean McVeigh.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Will, and thanks again for the 45 minutes you gave me to talk about Judge Plotkin tonight. Or was that 4-5 minutes? So tonight, it's a very distinct honor and privilege to talk about Barry Plotkin. As Will mentioned, my name is Dean McVeigh. I'm a partner with Lewis, Brisbois, Biscard, Smith. I'm also an adjunct professor at the University of Alberta College of Law. And so I know Judge Plotkin both as a practicing lawyer and as a law professor. So I can't imagine a more worthy recipient of this award. And I'm also really happy and proud to see 40 people from the University of Alberta here tonight, students, faculty. So thank you for your support. Because it's really important that our future lawyers hear about these wonderful careers of these people that have gone and had incredible lives and careers, and that we get to celebrate once a year. And so again, congratulations to the Judge of the Year, Judge Reichert, and to the Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Barry Plotkin. So just a few words about Barry. I promise it's not 45 minutes. So you probably read about him in the program. Barry graduated from Hollywood High School. And no, despite his big, booming bass voice, he was not going to be an actor. He wanted to be an athlete. And in fact, in high school, he was a football player and a baseball player. And he was intending to go to LA City College, where he would play football, but for a broken leg. So his career choices, instead of playing in the NFL, he ended up going to law school. And he started out by way of UCLA, and he told me he was a little too small to play for UCLA football. So he was pre-law. His passion, he wanted to be a prosecutor. That was his life goal, and he accomplished that. So after UCLA, he then went to Berkeley, UC Berkeley Bolt Hall School of Law. As you all know, it's one of the finest law schools in the nation, and UCLA is one of the finest undergraduate institutions in the nation. And so what did he decide to do? He went to work for the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. There were only 17 students of the whole state that were from all over the country, Georgetown, etc., that were admitted to that program. And he was one of those 17. And that's where he learned how to be a trial lawyer and a prosecutor with incredible mentors and tutors. And as a result, he had a wonderful career with the Los Angeles DA's office. He was living in Claremont at the time, so somehow it leaked out to his bosses, and they had just opened this little courthouse out in the boonies called Pomona. I think Judge Rogan remembers Pomona. We have two former cops from Pomona, Kevin and Lisa Rogan, and former students anyway. So Plotkin was out there in the DA's office. He then later went into private practice, and one of his partners was Ray Youngquist, who's here tonight, who's going to talk to us a little bit about Barry. And I understand he has some fun stories to tell. They were both prosecutors, they were both partners in their law firm, and they both became Superior Court judges, which is really a remarkable career. So I first met Judge Plotkin in the mid-90s. This was before my days at Lewis, Brisbois, and actually represented policyholders. Don't tell John Blumenthal. And he had an MSJ hearing, and it was a very complicated, very complex, very intricate summary judgment motion. And you never know how your judges are going to receive them, some more than others. And I was thoroughly impressed and very pleased with the level of detail, the understanding, the comprehension, and the work that he put into that summary judgment motion. And he's done that throughout his whole career. That hearing, I'll have to tell you, was more like an appellate argument than a Superior Court argument. He was asking questions, it was a hot bench, and we had to know our stuff. Because Barry knew the facts. He knew the case law, he knew all of the propositions of law that were at stake, and there were multiple millions of dollars on the line, and he put in his homework. I then flash forward into the 2010 at University of Laverne, one of the children in his neighborhood was Mike Morrison, who is married to Megan Cheney, and she was my co-teacher at University of Laverne for the LSP class, Lawyer and Skills Practice course. So fortunately, Megan was smart to say, hey Barry, would you please come and help our students? And he has done that ever since 2000, I believe it was 2010. And so now I know what he does, because I give him my MSJ paperwork, and then he gives them back, because I need to grade those things. And every page has markings, every page has highlighting, every page has notes and sticky notes. He reads his briefs. You can be assured that if you're in front of Judge Plotkin, that he will thoroughly, competently, and with expertise know your case, know your facts, and know the law. And that's the way he has been. He retired officially in 2010, but he still sits as a retired judge in the San Bernardino Superior Court. And he has led a remarkable life of public service. Again, graduating from UCLA and Bolt Hall, he could have worked anywhere, making all kinds of money. He chose to be a public servant and to work for the prosecutor's office, which is a very noble profession. And so tonight we get to celebrate him. And I will say, there was only one time that he wasn't able to judge my summary judgment hearings at Laverne. And by the way, it's every semester, fall, spring, and summer. And sometimes I have 4 cases, and sometimes I have 6 cases, and we have cross motions. So for each case, he's reading 2 summary judgment motions, 20 pages, plus a separate statement and the evidence. And so he has multiple cases, which he does while he's still working on the bench. But there was one time when he said, Dean, I'm really sorry, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to the hearings. And I said, well, what happened? His grandson was playing in, I believe, the Little League Baseball Championship, and he was really apologetic, but he said, actually, I think, did they win, Barry?
Yes.
Yay, they won. All right, so, and that really shows you his devotion to his family. I mean, there are 3 things that really stand out in Barry Plotkin's life. His family, his career, and sports and hiking. He's still an avid hiker to this day. And apparently his family has taken on the baseball avocation as well. But Mike Morrison indicated when I was speaking to him earlier that growing up, the Plotkin family home was the place to be in the neighborhood. They lived in Upland, and all of the neighbor kids would love to come over. They have 2 wonderful sons and 2 beautiful daughters, and all of the kids would come to the home, and his wife, Moana, was just the most loving, extroverted, beautiful, full of life woman that made her home everyone's home. And they opened up their home, their hearts, and their family to everybody, and that's exactly what we would expect of somebody of Barry Plotkin's integrity. They would take the kids to the Dodger games, they would take them camping, backpacking, and hiking. And to this day, even with a couple new nieces, he still does his hiking. So tonight is an opportunity to say thank you to Judge Plotkin. It's an opportunity for you to hear from some of your peers about how much you mean to us and to the Southern California legal community. It's an opportunity for our students at Laverne to see from 2 wonderful lives, Judge Riker and Judge Plotkin, of what public service means and how to be that shining example on the hill. So tonight, congratulations, Judge Plotkin. Enjoy the kudos, and thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite the Honorable Raymond Youngquist to say a few words about Judge Barry Plotkin. Judge Youngquist, there you
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow judges, and attorneys. It's a great honor to be able to address you tonight. I haven't been in the court for 7 or 8 years, and that's kind of nice also. I do see Barry occasionally for lunch about once a month with other judges LA County and then a group of lawyers. So I've been able to maintain a very good relationship with Barry for many years. I'd like to go back to pick up where Dean left off. I first met Barry Plotkin as a young lawyer that had just left the DA's office in LA. And Barry had just come out there and joined the DA's office. And so I went over to represent one of my first clients, a gentleman by the name of Jerry Estelle. And I went to the municipal courtroom, was set for preliminary hearings. And for some reason, I don't know what happened, but the doors were locked, and I was told, you can't go in there, it's a closed session. And I said, and so Barry comes out, I had never met him. He says, you can't go in there. I said, hey, wait a minute, my client's in there. So from that rather acerbic meeting, I finally got into court. We became friends and eventually partners. I've known Barry to be a very perspicacious, intelligent, law-loving, great father, great lawyer, great friend, and I really cherish the times I've had with him. I wanted to recount a few experiences that we had together. One was in the Municipal Court of Ontario. Judge Rutledge was presiding, and there was a group of people, young people outside, and a gentleman in motorcycle attire. And Judge Rutledge was, I guess, older than I am, if that's possible. I mean, I don't know if he was 90, but he looked very quite elderly. So Judge Rutledge was kind of a stickler for formality in court, and we walk out of his chambers and walk outside, and he sees these young people out there, and this gentleman in a motorcycle jacket and his helmet in his hand, and he was kind of upset by that. He says, you, sir, you, what are you doing here in my courtroom dressed like that? And the guy goes, you talking to me? And he says, yes, you. He said, well, sir, I'm here with my third grade class. I'm a teacher. We're leaving this courtroom, and we're not going to forget it. So there's a lot. We still kind of chuckle about that one today. Barry and I tried cases in front of many prominent judges. We had a capital case in front of Judge Ronald George, and I want to talk about a few of the judges that we've appeared in front of and some of the experiences that we've had, because we learned from those judges, I hope, always to be gentlemen, always to be prepared in court, and to have a demeanor that was hopefully professional at all times with the people in court, clients, defendants, etc. I did exclusively criminal law. Barry eventually went to civil and became quite a proficient civil lawyer. I'm kind of amused by the fact that I remember when he was practicing with Jim McDaniels, Jim McDaniels was doing a lot of the domestic relations cases, and they had both been previously with our firm, but the firm had splintered off into different parts, but Barry and Mac rented a space upstairs in my office. I remember that I remember originally saying, boy, if there's one thing I hope I never have to do, is domestic relations. Well, of course you know that when he got appointed in 1989 or 90 thereabouts, we both came in at the same time by Governor Duke Mason. Of course, where did they put Barry but in family relations, family law, and that was quite revealing to me, and I'm sure to him. Barry is a very learned lawyer and judge. If you come to his court, you better be prepared. He reads everything in front of him. He is fair. He is intellectually curious, and always a student of the latest law. And I enjoyed many years, and still do, of talking about law problems from time to time with him and Stu Holmes that is present tonight. Some of the judges we appeared in front of, Ron George, we had a 6-month death penalty case in front of him. Barry had a co-defendant. We were severed, but we would trade off thoughts and law ideas back and forth during that trial. Jimmy Cunningham, I remember him smoking outside of chambers all the time. Very active in his court. Cliff Allen, well, a lot of these people are deceased now. I knew Barry's wife, Moana, very well. We used to go out as a foursome or a sixsome. Went bowling sometimes up to the bowling alley in Pomona. I don't know if you want to do that anymore or not. It was fun in those days. And I remember the lunches in Green's Delicatessen, which was just really a great time. A bunch of lawyers sitting around talking about law with Barry, myself, and other esteemed members of the bar, esteemed judges. See, we also appeared before jointly in front of David Miriam, and had his dog in his Rolls Royce. Remember that? The dog looked like
I'm gonna lower the quality so it doesn't fill up my entire phone.
Judge Cox. We both appeared against Kenny Klepper. And Kenny Klepper was a fearsome DA, I'm telling you. But one thing about Kenny and Barry and I both appreciated was that if you gave Kenny a good fight, if you gave him a good fight, later on when he became a judge, he didn't forget, and he really treated the lawyers that he respected very well compared to some lawyers that he was not very happy with.
Now we have 17 minutes of recording left. That's why I
In
try
any
to save
event,
it when your dad
believe
actually
that,
talks. Okay?
I think I've used up my time. I want to thank you for putting up with my thoughts on this. And I want to thank Barry for his friendship, for his professional responsibility and demeanor on the bench, which has already been attested to by Dean. And I wish Barry great success in his further endeavors on the bench. And I hope that when he hangs it up, so to speak, he can enjoy it as much as I do, because I haven't been back in a courtroom in 7 years for anything. I don't look forward to it. Thank you very much. Barry.
Judge Plotkin for many years as a baby DA, and I'd hear music going on off in the courtroom behind me. It happened again tonight, so maybe the Honorable Lisa Rogan is going to come up now and present a congratulations letter from the San Bernardino Superior Court for Judge Plotkin. Judge Rogan.
Just a few words that I'd like to say before I present Judge Plotkin with this letter of congratulations from our bench on behalf of the presiding Judge Sachs and Assistant Presiding Judge Yabuno. I found it heartening to hear Dean McVeigh talk about what he admired in Judge Plotkin. And I was thinking as I came up to present this, that being a judge, you're kind of in the background, and that you take this position, you take it and you understand that you're not one of the main players that Judge Yamanquist just so eloquently talked about. When you hear from a judge, all of our good times are when we were attorneys and we were having those great cases, and we would go back to the office and I nailed it, and you're high-fiving with everyone. But as a judge, that is no longer your role. And what you find is your role is really to kind of disappear into the background. What I say, fade to black. And you no longer take part in those high fives, in those highs that you get when you nail a cross-examination, or as you're doing the cross-examination, you're getting something that you never thought you would get, and you're like, oh my God, this is great. As a judge, your role is really reserved to just making sure the playing field stays level. And on a good day, you make a ruling that goes against someone, and when you make that ruling, you hope that the person that you, or the party that you've ruled against, understands that you have made that ruling based in fairness and sound legal reasoning. And what I heard from Dean McVeigh this evening was that Barry Plotkin had a lot of good days. And because we don't typically high-five back in chambers, that's not something that you do as a judge. But we understand that you guys do, and certainly celebrate those wonderful moments that you have. This is a recognition by those who have appeared before us that says, you know what, you don't high-five with us, but we appreciate what you do. And for Judge Plotkin, that has been a hell of a lot of good days. And so on behalf of the San Bernardino County Bench and Presiding Judge Sachs, I'd like to present to Judge Plotkin this letter commemorating his recognition by this fine establishment and association. And what it says is, Dear Judge Plotkin, we wish to extend our congratulations to you on receiving the Judicial Lifetime Achievement Award from the Western San Bernardino County Bar Association. You have served our court and legal community for over 50 years, including 23 years as an attorney, 20 years as an active judge, and as a retired judge sitting on assignment for the past 9 years. That's a lot of good days. We appreciate and recognize your contributions to our court and the legal community and wish you continued success and happiness. Sincerely, Michael A. Sachs, Presiding Judge. So if I can have
Thank you, Judge Rogan. At this time, I'd like to invite Senator Mike Morrell to come up and present a resolution to Judge Plotkin.
Well, thank you for having me here. In fact, I think I'd rather reword it. It's great to be out of Sacramento and in a room full of people who are normal. So, thank you guys very much. Who would think that attorneys would be normal? Much more comfortable here than I am in Sacramento. And what an honor. You seem to have a lot of admirers for the service that you've done, a public servant who's done your job well. And so, congratulations on receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award. And I have an award here. And it's a resolution on behalf of the California Republican Senate of the state of California, just recognizing the good work that Judge Plotkin has done over the years. So, Judge, I'd like to thank you and give you the
Thank you, Senator Morrell, for those nice words. At this time, I'd also like to invite up Supervisor Don Rowe to present a resolution to Judge Plotkin.
On behalf of the entire County Board of Supervisors, we would like to recognize you in your lifetime achievement. Thank you for all that you have done for the judiciary and how you interface with the Board of Supervisors in the county. So we appreciate all that you've done and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Rowe. Now I'd like to invite Council Member Ryan Hutchison to come up to present Judge Plotkin with an award.
Hello, my name is Ryan Hutchison on behalf of the Mayor and the City Council of Rancho Cucamonga. It's an honor and privilege to be here. We take justice very seriously. I'm excited to be here with some people that I really look up to tonight. That's our Supervisor Don Rao, Mike Morales, State Senator, and our District Attorney Jason Anderson. And I want everyone to know that in Rancho Cucamonga, we really appreciate it. We appreciate all what you guys do, and mostly Mr. Plotkin for your Lifetime Achievement Award. It's an honor to meet you, Counselor, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, Judge Plotkin, we have a certificate of recognition from U.S. Senator Kamala Harris. And I'd like to read it to you. Certificate of recognition presented to the Honorable Barry L. Plotkin in honor of receiving the Judicial Lifetime Achievement Award from the Western San Bernardino County Bar Association for your outstanding service to the legal community and contributions to the legal community. Signed, Kamala Harris. For me to be president of the Bar Association at this time, I'm very happy that I get to stand up here with Judge Plotkin. He's a great judge. I had the privilege of working with him as a baby DA back around 2001 or so, and years after that at the Rancho Courthouse. And Judge, you were always fair to everyone. You were prepared. You were a gentleman, and I really want to say thank you for what you did for me as a young DA, along with our office as well, and to the people in the community that you, on the bench that you serve. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And on behalf of the Western San Bernardino County Bar Association, I'd like to present you with the Judicial Lifetime Achievement Award. And it says Honorable Barry L. Plotkin, presented by the Western San Bernardino County Bar Association. And thank you so much. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. To say that I am overwhelmed by this proceeding would be an understatement. I'm not sure what I've done to deserve this award and these accolades and these kind comments, but far be it for me to question the wisdom of the board of directors and members of the Western San Bernardino County Bar Association. So I will graciously accept with gratitude this award. I want to thank those who've spoken before me, particularly Dean McVeigh. Dean McVeigh has been a tremendous inspiration to me. Here's a man who is a partner in a major litigation firm that spends his life working in the trenches in the legal system, and then devotes an enormous amount of his time to the students of the University of Laverne, and I'm more than happy to offer my limited time to him to assist him and his students in their studies. But Dean is a very inspirational person, and I respect him very much. I want to thank Ray Youngquist for his kind comments. I know Judge Sachs and Judge Yabuno can't be here tonight because of business they have with their duties as the supervising judge and assistant supervising judge. But there are so many that I would want to thank that I wouldn't know where to begin. I would like to take just on a lighter moment, take a moment to talk about the picture that appears on this flyer. And I have to tell you that I've taken a lot of heat over that picture. And someone said to me, that looks like Judge Plotkin 25 years ago. And they were probably right, because that picture probably was taken 25 years ago. And I did not select that picture out of a sense of vanity. In fact, I didn't select the picture at all. I got a call from the Bar Association saying, well, first of all, I got a call from Dean McVeigh saying you've been selected for this honor, and I said, that can't be right. So, it's right. But then they told me that I need a photograph of a headshot, preferably sitting on the bench. And I said I had no idea where I would get that, and I called Stan. Where's Stan? There he is. I said, Stan, where did you get that headshot? And he said, well, I got it from one of our administrators from the archives. So I immediately called her because they were telling me they needed the photograph very quickly. And she said, well, I'll see what I can dig up. So after several hours, she said, okay, I found a photograph. And I said, good. She said, I'll send it to you right away. I said, no, just send it to the Western Sacramento County Bar Association, because they need it for their cover piece. So she sent it, and I never saw it. Okay. So that's my disclaimer. I never saw this picture after it was published. I'm just overwhelmed, as I say, to receive the award and to hear the comments that have been made. And I'll be brief, but I must express my extreme gratitude to the Board of Directors and members of the Western Sacramento County Bar Association and the County of San Bernardino Bar Association. I've had a wonderful career that I look back on with some pride. I must make another disclaimer, though, that Professor McVeigh made reference to a complex summary judgment that he had in front of me, and I remember it well. And it was very difficult, it was very contentious. But what he didn't tell you is that after I put all the hours into studying that case and making a ruling, I got reversed on appeal. And, thank you for not mentioning that. So, we all make mistakes, and apparently, according to the 4th District of the Court of Appeal, that was one of them. And I also want to express my gratitude for becoming a judge at all. It was a very long, difficult, drawn out process for me to become a judge. I put in my name, and most of you know the process if you've been through it, submitting the names of all the cases you've tried and the attorneys you've tried them against, and attorneys that you've opposed in courtroom proceedings. It then goes to the Judicial Nominees Evaluation Committee, and then they send a report to the governor's appointment secretary. And I was amazed that within several months, I heard from the governor's appointment secretary. And they wanted me to come up to Sacramento for an interview. And I thought, well, that's really a short timeline to process the application and to come up and get an interview. And getting an interview is a very important step in the proceedings. So I interviewed with then Judicial Appointment Secretary Marvin Baxter, who later became Justice Baxter. I think Jeff King can probably correct me if I'm wrong, but it was, I think, the 6th District Court of Appeal, and later Justice Baxter of the California Supreme Court, where he served for, I think, almost 14 years. And he was very gracious. I heard he was stern and kind of tightly wound, but I found that he was gracious and kind, and he said that you seem to meet all the qualifications, and I'm going to give you a favorable recommendation. But just as we were leaving and shaking hands, he gave me an ominous warning that I didn't really take seriously. He said, just one word of advice, don't close up your office right away. So to anybody who's paying attention, that tells you, you might get appointed, but it's going to take a while. And this was in 1987, which I think was the first year of Judge McMagan's second term in office. Then it became a grind, and I've long since given up getting a judgeship when the word finally came through that I was going to be appointed. But 1987 passed. We had many vacancies. Every time there was a vacancy, my heart was racing, thinking this is the time I'm going to get appointed. It was always someone else, and this went on through 1987, 1988, 1989, and I figured, well, I'm just not going to get this judgeship. It's just not going to happen. And then just before the holidays in 1989, I got a call from a Rancho Superior Court judge who was kind of tied into the governor's appointment secretary, and he called me and said, are you still interested in the judgeship? And I said, well, I don't know at this point. I mean, it's been so long. And he said, just tell me yes or no. And I said, okay, yes. And he said, okay. I said, we don't have a vacancy. He said, we do have a vacancy. Art McKinster, who was one of our Superior Court judges, was just elevated to the 4th District Court of Appeal, which created a vacancy. I think it was the day after Christmas, I went into the office and I got a call from the governor's appointment secretary saying, we want you to fly up to Sacramento to be interviewed. I thought, well, that's kind of odd. I've been interviewed, and what more could they want? But I dutifully flew up and met with the new Judicial Appointment Secretary. And he said, well, we've already decided that we're going to give you the judgeship, but we just want to take a look at you. So I guess they wanted to see if I had a Mike Tyson tattoo on my face, or had become a progressive, liberal Democrat or social Democrat, but in any event, I was sworn in 2 days later, and then I was, it didn't get much publicity because it was right around the holidays. And then started with the Superior Court in, I think the second week of January. Judge Kaishima was the presiding judge and was very kind to me, and every supervising judge that I've worked with since then has been equally kind. So I can't tell you the overwhelming sense of gratitude I feel toward the bench that I work for, toward all of you who've come up and had kind things to say, and have come out tonight to welcome me. It is an overwhelming experience. I would hope that in the future some of you may have the same experience. I would hope that there are many outstanding judicial officers in this room and on the San Bernardino County bench that I have the highest admiration for. And with that, I think I will adjourn my invocation, and thank you again, and thank you for attending.
Mary's in the middle, but you can help carry the